on this 16th note triplet feel. All right, I'm going to show you a couple of exercises as well that make it a little bit easier for you to be able to get that 16th note triplet and then be able to effectively be able to play it in your hands. I'm also going to show you a couple of improvisation tricks that I like to use, and I think it will be helpful for you to be able to build upon this and then move the song into your own improvisation and be creative with it. So anyway, a lot of stuff we're going to do in this lesson, so I hope you join me. Fourth between these two, B flat and then D and A flat. All right, that's just the root, and then the third and the seventh. The reason I'm going down to the fifth is just to provide a little bit of alternation, make it so it's not just staying right on that the whole time. If you want something else that you could play that will give you a little bit of differences, you could just go down to that A flat as well. I'm just going down to G flat. Right? That's not as good of a choice, but just for now you could try that just to be able to get down so you know where beat 1, 2, 3, and 4 is. I'm going to be doing this going down to the fifth. So I'm going to start with this triplet feel. Remember, that's triplet, 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 triplet. For scale is a lot of the blues scale. Might add in also that sixth. Remember with that blues scale, the other note that you can add in there is also that sixth, which gives you kind of like that pentatonic, that bluesy pentatonic. There's your major pentatonic if you add in that blues note, okay? I believe that I talked about that in the first slow blues improv. Yeah, I gave you that bluesy pentatonic scale, okay? So that's what we're using, is that one. All right, so that's the notes in the right hand. Let's get it with the left hand. I'll play it a few times. Here, let me give you this example. You ever watch football? I'm not a big football fan, but this is a good example. When somebody catches the football and they're running in a direction and that person, is trying to get them, on the defense, and then they swerve and they move. Now they're running full force and they swerve their body and move in a different direction. It's really difficult to do something like that because you have all of this force going one way. All right, and then now you got to boom, move that force in another direction. Right, you really got to explode into another direction. Same thing is happening when you're playing at the piano. When you have a line and it's going down or the line is going up, you have force moving in a direction, and now you got to change gears and move into a new direction all at once. So what helps is to break that lick or pattern or whatever it is you're trying to do down into its separate. To take that bottom note out, I would get this. Sorry. You can hear that it doesn't really define the chords and define the harmony. Whereas if I take out the top note, I get this. That sounds perfectly fine. In the right hand, let's say I was doing something like, let's say I was doing, just have this on the top of my head. Like if I'm doing the first part of My Romance, So here, maybe this is too far to hit this, right? So what I would keep is, just do that. Just take the top couple of notes. The reason is usually that top note is what the melody is in the song, okay? Or let's say if I'm doing something on a blues thing, go from that one right into this one and back and forth in the same licks and stuff. Since it's in that same B flat key, you can expand upon it. Now, the other cool thing is that B flat major is also the relative major of G minor. So you could go from B flat and then hit a D7 chord and then and then go right into a G minor blues. And I talked about G minor blues in that slow minor lesson. So taking these 3 lessons and putting them together, you can come up with some really cool stuff. All right, so let's get started. Let me go ahead and play the first measure for you, and then we'll break it down. All right, now you'll notice that I'm playing a lot of octaves and then chords, all right, to get that nice kind of stride feel. And then also you notice that I'm playing these rootless chords up here a lot of times. And then C minor, same thing on the C minor. All right, this is a good trick to know accompaniment-wise, playing that root and then just the 3rd and the 7th. Same thing on the C sharp, and on the B7, B flat 7 over D. I like this chord sound. I like doing this kind of chord sound. This is a kind of an interesting voicing. It's the 3rd and the root along with the 9th. Right? A lot of times you think, you know, put the 7th in there with the 9th, right? Or even the root. But I like actually just that little cluster there of just the root and the 9th like that, leaving the 7th completely out. So really, you could argue that, hey, wait, it's really just a B flat over D, not even a B flat 7. But I still wrote it as B flat 7 because that's the chord of the moment. All right, so back to the beginning of measure 3. Sorry, let me do that again. Okay, there's measure 5. Let's just focus on measure 6 now. There you go. Just measure 6. Just the right hand. The thing to notice here is, take a look at where these come in. This is off the beat until the last beat. So check it out. 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2. I don't know if I'll remember to do that, but. With the left hand. We'll get to that section at measure 9 in a minute, right? There's your left hand. Now take a look at this. This is a great sound to know. Now first of all, harmonically, what's happening here in the blues is it's a B flat 7, A7, A flat 7, G7, then to C. You know, you've heard that sound before, that 2 walking up to the. Even though, yes, it's moving up those chords, I'm still playing a B flat blues, so I'm thinking of these 5ths, you know, and octaves in B flat. So anyway, outline the C minor chord, and then B flat over D. So C sharp, D flat, up to the D natural. The octaves, and then E flat 7. Remember, if that's too much of a stretch, just do the root 7 down here. Let's just do it right at the E flat 7 so you can get that feel. Triplet, 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 triplet. And we go to the E diminished. Just the root 7, so it'd be triplet. That's right. Triplet, triplet. Okay, and then we go up to F7. That, or if you can do the whole 10th, that's good as well. And so, from the C minor, you know, that could sound a little bit tight. So listen for that. Okay, you'll get used to that sound and you'll be able to pick that out. All right, so again, it's that G flat to F augmented. That's pretty simple. Okay, and then at that point, you just end up going right back into the beginning of the song. improvisation you want. Now, to end it, once again from measure 11, second ending, and we go to B7. You could do that as well if that's too much of a stretch. Do a little roll on that chord. You can go the other way as well if you want, up or down. I like throwing in that. Oops, sorry. Where am I here? Now just get into this little section. So from measure 11 to the first ending, just play it exactly as written. Okay? So all I'm doing is focusing just on getting this left hand down. Now here on the E flat 7, this is the only place that I would change it. I'd probably just do this 4 to the floor. 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4. Because on the E flat, I wouldn't